What up, family? It's Swagu. I'm back. It's a Wednesday. Beautiful day. It's been a great week. It's been some really good football. Sunday actually was some of the best football I can remember. It seems like every game came down to the last play, the literal last play with the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears. Um, y'all, this podcast now is we having a good time. We are having a good time. Um, a couple of things to look forward to. The holiday season is almost here. Halloween is tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Halloween is tomorrow. And then Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, y'all, I'm gonna tell you, this run of holidays between Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, that's my time of the year. It's actually the big fella's time of the year because it gets cold. And we got a lot of body heat. We give great hugs. Our families love to come and get up under us when it get cold outside. I'm just saying. It's experience. Speaking of big dudes, we're gonna start this podcast off right. We got Swagu in the house tonight. Listen, man, I don't know if y'all saw it, but I went viral. First, before I get into this story, like, subscribe. Y'all know you got to give it up. Like, subscribe, follow. We on YouTube as well. Y'all tap in. Swagu Podcast. Y'all got to give myself some love. Now, I ain't gonna do this often. I might, depending on what I do, depending on what I decide during the week to be magnificent in. I might have to come on here and give myself some kudos. I don't know if y'all saw it, but Monday on NFL Live, Jaden Daniels threw a Hail Mary that ended up in Noah Brown's hands after a dude named Tyreek Stevenson was at the club before the game ended. And we got to talking on NFL Live on Monday. And it was brought, I said, because I was mad at Dan for no reason. Dan didn't do me anything Monday. I don't know why. Maybe I was getting him back because he's been on me all year. Dan Orlovsky, that is. I told him, I said, if you were the quarterback, y'all wouldn't have won that game because you can't throw the ball that far. You couldn't get the ball down there. And obviously, you got to have a cannon like Jaden to be able to push the ball downfield like that and give your wide receivers a chance to win the game. So this is what happened, y'all. When I said, Dan, you can't even throw that far, he was like, that's why I'm sitting here, meaning on TV because he ain't playing no more because he can't throw that far. And I said, well, you were an NFL quarterback. And then we started talking about the great producers at NFL Live, went back and found Dan's longest throw in the NFL to Calvin Johnson, 54 air yards, meaning in the air for 54 yards. So I was like, 54 yards. I was like, that's me waking up. I can do that. And Dan fell into the trap. He said, lowly, no, you can't. And that's when all hell break loose. Because Laura Rutledge, who's our host, who I call Boogie, was like, prove it, Swagu. Oh, say less. Say less. If it's one thing I know I can do, it's throw a football. I've been doing it all my life. There is no doubt in my mind that I could throw a ball 54 yards in the air. I was the state and regional 11-year-old punt, pass, and kick champion. But we're not going to get into that. Too much about me. But we went viral because I threw the ball 54 yards on TV at the end of the show. And y'all, it went crazy. Internet went crazy. People forgot that Swagu was an athlete. People forgot that Swagu did this. People forgot. Don't let them forget Swagu. The Swagu hive, like the beehive, came out in full support of the big fella. People that are fans of NFL Live and watch our show, they came out. My sister, Mina Kimes, was going crazy. You could hear her saying, oh. And guess what Dan was doing, y'all? wallowing in the misery of knowing that once again I had beat him. Now, listen, this is not something that doesn't happen often. I beat Dan often, win bets against Dan often. But this was special because I got called out for saying something and we had to do it immediately. I remember back in the day when I was on Get Up, when we was first getting to it, and me and Jay Williams was on there, he challenged me that I couldn't do 25 push-ups on the spot. I got that $100. Moral of the story is welcome to the Swagu podcast. Don't play with Swagu because I'm telling y'all right now, if you bet me something and I accept the bet, I already know I can do it. That's it. All right, let's get to it. Speaking of me throwing, it's a lot going on with the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and we got to get into this story first. Anthony Richardson. Okay, I understand, y'all. Everybody mad. Okay, the man tapped out in the game. And when I mean tapped out, he hit his helmet to tell his coaching staff that he was tired and he came out the game. Problem is, this the quarterback. Quarterbacks don't do that. And in the time that it was happening, when I'm watching it, I'm like, I know this man ain't just tap his ass out of this game, talking about he tired in the third quarter. Now he had just made a run. He got hit awkwardly. So I was like, okay, he been injured for a little bit. Is he hurting a little bit and he just saying he tired and that's the way to get out the game because he don't want to acknowledge that something is hurting on his body? That could have been a potential reason. Another reason could have been he just didn't understand the situation in the moment, and that's hard for me to believe because Anthony Richardson is a quarterback, and I know he didn't just start watching quarterbacks when he got to the NFL, knowing that quarterbacks don't tap out. Not for being tired. And the next play from Joe Flacco was a handoff. Fam, you were too tired to hand that sum off? I don't know, bro. I don't know. But I'm going to tell y'all how I done grew up. I've grown up. I've matured. Because in these situations in the past, I would have eviscerated Anthony Richardson. I wouldn't have thought about it more deeply. And I got to give people in my circle a lot of credit to be like, sometimes it's a little bit more deeper than you think. Because I'm an on the service guy. You say certain things, I attach those things to you. You do certain things, I'll be like, yo, that's who he is. That's who she is. I mean, I grew up in the South, man. I grew up with a lot of old wisdom, a lot of uncles and aunts that told me, once somebody show you who they are, believe them. Those kind of sayings. Don't be fooled by the fool twice. It's just all types of sayings. So usually my response to some, which I still do consider this egregious, even though I'm not going to criticize Anthony Richardson. But usually my response is to just go in on you because I'm pretty much no nonsense and I'm an owner service guy, and what I saw is what I saw, and I saw you pet your helmet and come out the game, Anthony Richardson. But I chose not to, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Anthony Richardson right now has one of the worst completion percentages in the history of the NFL. I think he had like 44%. That's awful. Now, a part of that, we got a really good writer here named Ben Solak. I'm giving him a shout out because I never talk about it, but I read a lot of his stuff on ESPN Plus. And he talked about Anthony Richardson passer rating and how much he throws the ball downfield compared to most other quarterbacks, which would lend itself to having a lower completion percentage because you taking more riskier throws and you taking more shots downfield. And a couple of those throws this past Sunday were really, really good against the Houston Texans. His receivers just didn't catch it. So let me put that disclaimer out there. But let's get to the point. Let's get to the reason why we're talking about Anthony Richardson. He tapped out of the game, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is a guy that's been injured a lot. It's a guy that's not playing well, and it's a guy that's young without a lot of football reps. And on one hand, as I've heard some of my colleagues say, hey, you got to play in order to get better and to develop. And I agree with that. But does it come to a point where you playing and you getting this so-called development, but it's to your detriment because mentally something is happening to you because you don't feel like you can get over the hump? Now, I don't claim to know Anthony Richardson personally. That's why this is crazy, because usually I just take surface level stuff and I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's trash that you decided to tap out during the game. But I know now to be a little bit more cautious about give and takes, especially in these particular situations with young players, because in the same vein that Bryce Young was in Carolina, Bryce Young was so shell shocked with the Carolina Panthers playing that he needed to actually sit behind Andy Dalton and maybe learn from a pro that's done it at a high level for a long time, how their preparation goes, how the mentality is when you're going into a week of starting. Sometimes these youngsters can come out here and start, i.e., CJ Stroud last year, Jaden Daniels this year. Sometimes they need to sit behind a vet and learn a little bit before they get their chance to start rolling. Pat Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith because Alex Smith was balling in Kansas City at the time, and I got to believe that helped Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert, albeit from Tyrod Taylor being injured while getting a shot, I believe, was still behind a veteran and was able to see a veteran prepare. And not Justin Herbert is starting quarterback with $250 million plus it. That ain't the point. The point is it goes both ways. Sometimes guys sit and watch and they get better and develop. Some guys play and they develop into that. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a long time. Jordan Love is balling. All right, let me get to the point. The reason I didn't go in on Anthony Richardson is because I felt like it was more than just about being tired. It's me personally. I ain't talked to his people. I ain't talked to the Colts. Haven't talked to Anthony. I could be completely wrong, but this is what I feel. This is my opinion of it when I saw it and my feelings about it. For Anthony Richardson to tap out of a game because he's tired signaled to me that he was overwhelmed. Now, overwhelmed by what? I don't know. But it's hard for me to believe that you are not that aware at the position you're playing in the National Football League to tap out of a game, which we never see quarterbacks do. We see quarterbacks play with rib injuries, ankle injuries, neck injury. Like, we see quarterbacks play through everything. I've been playing Pee Wee. I started playing Pee Wee football at 7 years old. Anthony Richardson is I'm sure it's happened before. He's the first quarterback I've ever seen tap his helmet and say, I'm tired. I need a playoff. He's the first quarterback I played with so many quarterbacks, y'all, since Pee Wee all the way to the NFL. I've never seen it before. So I decided I'm going to give Anthony Richardson a little grace. And I'm going to say it was more than just being fatigued. Maybe it's the overall football function that he got to just catch up, get his mind recalibrated. And I actually like what the Colts are doing by starting Joe Flacco. And maybe it gives Anthony Richardson a little reprieve, a different perspective, a different eye line to how to play quarterback in the NFL. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. Anthony, you do it again, I'm on your ass, man. Period. All right. Let's go to my next guy, because we go from one story of a young quarterback that's trying to mature to another quarterback that is playing his ass off in Pittsburgh, and that is Russell Wilson. Now, I got to give Russell Wilson a lot of credit for handling this situation after seeing Justin Fields win some games and have some success. First and foremost, though, I got to give a shout out to Mike Tomlin, because Mike Tomlin told everybody, hey, y'all stay out of grown folk business. I'm going to make a decision that I need to make that I think is best for the team. And if it work out, I'm going to look like a genius. If it don't work out, I'm going to put Justin Fields back in the game and I'm going to look like a genius. Russell Wilson beat the Jets and the Giants, has thrown for 250 plus and 3 TDs, 0 INTs, and has a rushing TD. And more importantly than that, he's made this offense more explosive as far as pushing the ball down the field. George Pickens is in heaven. Van Jefferson is in heaven, man. Like, these receivers for the Pittsburgh Steelers now feel like when they take a route deep, they're going to get a shot at it. And I think I said that, like I said the only way I could see Russell Wilson being inserted into the starting lineup is if Mike Tomlin wants to see more explosive plays. And what they got? More explosive plays with his arms, pushing the ball downfield. I ain't going to say I said it, but I said it. Just see what it is. And it's paying dividends. Now, this is the beauty of Mike Tomlin, and we got to give Russ some kudos for one being ready when he came back off the calf injury. He said he had a strained calf. I think he was pushing sleds. But we got to give Mike Tomlin credit because Mike Tomlin did say when Russell showed up there that he's the starter until otherwise. And he got injured, and Justin Fields went in and played well, and now you got like Mike Tomlin got two guys now that he probably feel okay with playing quarterback, which is a very different turn in Pittsburgh than it's been over the last since being left Roethlisberger. So Russ is playing good, man. I want to give Russ a shout out. Russ. Here's the other thing too about Russ. Russ was in Denver showing his ass, own office, trying to be the coach player. You go to Pittsburgh, it's one person in charge. His name is Mike Tomlin. And Russ, even in his success, Super Bowl champion, MVP, Pro Bowler, all of that type of stuff, even in his age and experience, he knew when he walked in that locker room in Pittsburgh, it wasn't his. He had to become a part of that culture. He wasn't going to create no culture. I think he was trying to create the culture in Denver. What was the saying he would say in Denver? Let's ride. Man, if you don't ride your ass up out of here and go to Pittsburgh so you can play better because Mike Tomlin your head coach, shout out to Russ, man. Russ balling. 2 Super Bowl teams made moves. 2 Super Bowl contenders and favorites made moves before the trade deadline, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. We saw that they signed Deontay Johnson, and obviously we saw the Deontay Thompson, and we saw the Kansas City Chiefs sign DeAndre Hopkins. And I love this from my perspective because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan who my team does nothing ever. Oh, another big one, sneaky. Christian Darrisaw got hurt for the Minnesota Vikings. They went and signed Cam Robinson. Come in and play tackle for them. I think that's huge because the Minnesota Vikings got a really good, I think they 5-2. Now they've dropped their last 2, but you got to protect Sam Darnold and make sure that he can, get back on track and keep rolling. So those are 3 trades from teams that are going to be playoff contenders. I love that the Chiefs go for it every year. If you really pay attention to the Kansas City Chiefs, they do something like this every year. They position themselves, they play, and they undefeated. So people are like, why they need? Because they think about Super Bowls. They don't think about just winning games. They think about let's win Super Bowls. Now, other teams say that, but do you put the action into it? Baltimore Ravens signed Deontay when they got Derrick Henry this offseason. Making moves to position themselves to when they get in the playoffs, because sometimes in the playoffs, it comes down to who your guys are, not the plays you calling. And both of these teams understand that. And shout out to them for doing it because I know somebody that ain't. I'm right down the street from them. The Cowboys ain't positioning to do nothing. Unfortunately. All right, I ain't going to stay on that too long. I love the trades that's been made by these Super Bowl contending teams or these teams that's going to be in the playoffs. I want to transition a little bit because I'm seeing something that I'm really, really impressed with. And I'm going to transition to another sport, and that sport is the NBA, the National Basketball Association, the NBA. the game of basketball, which is my favorite game, by the way, if you don't know, to watch, to play. Football, I love. I like basketball a lot. I like watching it. And JJ Redick, who used to be our colleague here at ESPN, is the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I know it was a lot of tension around when he got hired. Oh, he ain't never coached before. Why these dudes ain't getting jobs? I get it. I understand it. I understand different perspectives. I understand black coaches' perspective. I understand coaches that's been tenured perspective. I understand all of that. But all of that is neither here nor there because the Lakers wanted to sign and hire JJ Redick after they were turned down by Hurley from UConn, obviously. But ultimately, JJ is doing a phenomenal job. And I don't think JJ gives one F how people feel about him. I think JJ just wants to be a really good damn basketball coach in the NBA and wants to. And by the way, he's coaching LeBron and Anthony Davis, two of the greatest players to ever play the game. One of them is the greatest player in my book to ever play the game. And you have to figure out a way as their peer to come and coach them. And that look good out there, y'all. I don't know if you're paying attention. The Lakers are moving the ball. They running great action for Anthony Davis and LeBron. And my God, Austin Reeves. Bro, Austin Reeves, right? Austin Reeves look like he gonna be a max player. Austin Reeves like F around and find out I'm gonna be out of here getting me one of them 300, 200, high 200, $300 million bags. Austin Reeves can go. I don't know if y'all been watching, but Austin Reeves can go. And JJ knows it, so he runs action for him. But I just want to give him a shout out, man. The ball movement with the Lakers, the defensive intensity, the way that they're playing. And when they fired Darvin Ham, it was weird because I was like, damn, they just went to the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago. Or what's that, a couple years ago? Y'all, I'll be having a lot of sports. Yeah, I think a couple years ago, 2 years ago. Went to the Western Conference Finals. Obviously lost to Jokic and them, but everybody lost to Jokic and them. But JJ has come in and it changed some things up. You see him getting on LeBron. You see him getting after players, having the respect, having their eyes. Listen, the one thing I'm going to tell y'all something, a secret to pay attention to when you're looking at coach's coach on the sideline. Money Williams, who's one of my good friends who I love tremendously, was a coach that I always saw this happen when he would be on the sideline talking to his players. He got their attention because they looking him in the eyes. So when JJ calls timeout and he goes to talk to the team, I want y'all to pay attention to the attention that's being given to JJ Redick. That's how you know that's how you know it's resonating with the fellas. Now I ain't getting on here saying he the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't know what JJ gonna turn out to be as a coach. I don't know what the Lakers gonna turn out to be this season. But the way they playing right now, they're gonna win a lot of games and be a playoff team. But ultimately, shout out to JJ, man, for getting his ass off of ESPN, going becoming the head coach of the Lakers, and then being able to walk into that. And I know your history in basketball, JJ. I know you played. I know you're around people. I'm proud of you because I know you. But more importantly, I like the way that you're coaching, man. Keep freaking going. I love that. Damn it. JJ, go win the championship. I'm a little far-fetched because them damn Celtics look like they are not losing. But anyway, JJ Redick is doing a hell of a job with the Lakers up until this point. I know the season is early. All right, let's get to some serious business now. For real. I'm serious. I'm looking in your eye. I'm dead serious about this. Hey, go vote, man. Do your research. I'm not on here to tell you who to vote for, what candidate. We know the candidates. Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. We know. And then you got local government elections. You got your state election. All of those are important. You got these propositions in your community. Pay attention to what's going on around you as well. And go vote. Like, get up on your information. Determine who you align with. Determine what you think is going to be best for you, your community, and the people around you. And go exercise your right. Election day coming up, y'all. It's on Tuesday. Get your ass out there and vote. If you ain't voted early, go vote on election day. I just advise you to try to go vote early because I know them lines gonna be crazy. But we have a responsibility to each other to exercise our right and let the country decide, the people decide who's gonna be our representative in the White House and all of these other local and state government positions and seats. Go educate yourself. That's my soliloquy on that. It's a tense time, y'all. It's tense. There's two ideologies going on in America. It feels like a lot of separation. I don't know who you're voting for, but I tell you to go do it and vote wisely. All right. That's my piece on that because I wasn't gonna let this election come and not tell y'all to get y'all ass to them polls. Lastly, Halloween is here. About to turn them. I got a funny story for y'all. I want to end on a funny story. So when I was growing up in Louisiana, I grew up in South Baton Rouge, North Baton Rouge. Wasn't really affluent areas of the neighborhood. It was the neighborhood I loved and grew up in, the people I knew. And Halloween was lit when we was poor. No other way around it. We didn't have much. But on Halloween, we knew we was getting some candy. And we knew everybody in the neighborhood, so you knocked on every door, whether they had the lights on or not. Didn't know. I ain't even know about that until I just keep listening to the story. I ain't care if your lights was on, you had a jack-o'-lantern house. I don't give a damn what you had out there. You could have that house pitch black. If you was in our neighborhood on Halloween night, we knocking on the damn door. And you better have some candy. And if you don't have no candy, you better run to that kitchen and figure out what the hell you gonna get these little kids that showed up on your doorstep. That is Halloween in the hood. Oh, but y'all, when I got a little bread and I got to these neighborhoods, where people drive golf carts for Halloween and they have their routes planned for Halloween and they know what houses they going to and they have Halloween parties where people like get makeup artists and to make them look like Beetlejuice or something. And I was like, damn, this is the different side of Halloween. And then when you show up to their house, like my kids, like me, I show up and y'all remember we used to get the little bitty half Snickers bars. And it was the little Musketeers, and you get them little ugly ass pumpkin candies. I don't even know why they made them. And then sometimes you just get whatever candy was there when I was growing up. Here, king size Snickers, big ass Musketeers. What they call them damn peanut butter and Crustables. I hadn't seen that on Halloween. How the hell you just go buy Crustables to hand out for Halloween? That are the right temperature. Kids walking around on their way to get candy eating Crustables. Or getting the Crustable, going back on their golf court, eating the Crustable. Halloween different, man. The walk is so much further. When I was young, the houses were real close to each other. Some of it was the apartments, the projects, Elm Grove. Man, where I'm at, you gotta walk. Your ass gotta walk if you want some candy around here. People houses spread out. But when you get there, man, I'm telling you, people come to the door, they got haunted houses in their house. The big ass blow up things in the front yard. They got 7 or 8 pumpkins out there. I mean, I'm in one of them neighborhoods where you store your Halloween, and when you pull it out, it's like you set up a whole ambiance. And then Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I like Halloween in the hood better. It was fun. It wasn't like, my kids, this is what they know. But for me, Halloween was so fun because it was like 50 of us. All knew each other. All the families knew each other. And we just went around to people's house terrorizing their candy. And then we'd get back to the house. Or we, 3 or 4 of your friends, y'all go back to the house because you got to spend the night. You got to spend the night to tell ghost stories. Like what? You take all your candy, you dump it on the middle of the bed, and you ration it out. You count how many Snickers you got. You count how many Musketeers. First, you count who had the most candy given. I mean, here you can't even compare it because it looked like you went to damn Costco in the neighborhood I'm in now. Looked like you went to Costco, bought a whole bunch of candy and just gave it out. And ain't nobody counting no candy because it's too big. You can need a sack to get the Halloween candy. I used to walk around with a Piggly Wiggly bag. 2 of them, fill it up. Now you need, these damn kids around here need pillowcases. Because you might get a damn pair of shoes for Halloween. You don't know. Still like my Halloween's better. All right, y'all. We had a lot of great talk. This has been the Swagu Podcast. Get your ass out there and vote. Do your research. All right. And y'all be careful and be safe on Halloween. Enjoy it. We kind of need to get back to like doing it together, by the way. It's been on my mind a lot. Social media kind of infiltrating. We need to figure out in our own little pockets and communities. We need to figure out how to connect again beyond the phone and talk to people face to face. I know a lot of the blame is carried on the political climate of the United States and all of the that we see go on. Y'all, a lot of this we can fix by getting out and rocking with each other and having legit conversations, even in disagreement, even in situations where we don't agree or we don't align. I fundamentally believe people want the same thing. They want to be able to take care of their families. They want to live safely, and they want to have a good time. I fundamentally believe that is like what majority of the people want to do. Get out, y'all. See each other, talk to each other face to face. Go talk to somebody that's different from you. Have a difference of opinion and try not to get mad. Try to understand even if you continue to disagree with their stance. Now all that other crazy racism and all of that, ain't nobody got time for all that. What we do have time for, though, is getting to know each other and maybe finding more common ground than we think we have. I had to get serious. I had to put that out there, man, because y'all know this is a very tense election time. It's a very tense time in our country. More importantly, man, lock in and get out of your own silos and people that think and agree like you and talk to somebody that have a difference of opinion, live a different lifestyle, and maybe we'll find that common thread of human DNA that we all share and all have the same because we all got a date where we going to expire. You better get to living and loving and stop all this bullshit that's going on. Mad love. This been the Swagu Podcast. Like, subscribe, follow. We on YouTube. We on everything. Find us. Every platform that you can find podcasts. I want to shout out to my producers, as I will do. Daniel Parker and our new guy, Mike. I appreciate y'all. Till Friday. Y'all know what Friday is. Friday brings in the weekend, and we're going to get it popping, and we're going to have a good time. We had to get down to some business on this podcast this Wednesday. Peace and love. This is Swagu. I'm out. I'll see y'all next time.